recording day, see you there. Weekly news everywhere. Lots to say, much to share. Here I go, mumbling. Hey guys, and welcome to INTERN-net News, episode 4, right here on Oneofus.net. A news show about everything that's been going on this week, with stuff chosen by me, some Scottish guy. Now this week we're going to try and be much more condensed, much more to the point, because as you pointed out the last few weeks, 20 to 30 minutes is way too long for a video like this, and unless we actually get Miley Cyrus to twerk in the background, it's probably best trying to keep it down to sort of 5-10 minutes. So let's not waste any more time, let's get started. So this week, Michael Bay makes the entire internet happy by jumping on someone's fist. The Superman tribute pays homage to 75 years of Superman, apart from the bits it chooses to ignore. David Tennant has been cast as his own character in the US. And Captain Phillips' crew isn't impressed with the big budget pirate thriller Captain Phillips. Now, the biggest piece of news to break this week, and it only broke a couple days ago, the altercation resulted in Michael Bay being punched. Now, the internet kind of blew up, and there was this kind of mass celebration at the fact that Michael Bay had been punched. And as one keyboard gangster said, about fucking time, someone should give them a medal and a happy meal to go. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say, yeah, Michael Bay has made some he's made some bad films, he's made some bad choices with the films that he's made. He could arguably be accused of, robbing people of their childhoods, blah 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 blah. But the guy he's a filmmaker, he's a person. Does he deserve this, and does he deserve the kind of reaction that it got? I say probably not. Yeah, he's maybe not the nicest of guys in terms of his filmmaking, he maybe doesn't care about source material that much, but at the end of the day, he's just making Hollywood films. So the thing I say is, who's worse, the guy that makes those films or the guy that pays to go and see those films and enjoys them? I'm thinking the latter, and the fact that some people are being really cruel about this, I would say no, just stop. So we had a brand new video celebrating 75 years of Superman. This animated 2-and-a-bit-minute short kind of goes through the history of Superman and shows all the different incarnations and all this kind of really lovely animation. What's interesting about this is that Dean Cain and Brandon Routh, who played Superman in Superman Returns and also the Lois and Clark series, they have been entirely missed out of this. Now I think this is kind of a shame really, it's a little bit of a snub. Now yes, these aren't great parts of the Superman history, but to be fair, they are still parts of the history. Now Superman Returns had a lot of problems, but the main problem of the film wasn't so much Brandon Routh as it was the fact he was trying to emulate and recreate what had came before him with Christopher Reeves, especially in the first two films, and he didn't so much play Superman as he kind of just did an imitation of Superman, and I think that's kind of where he fell down. But honestly, I think Superman Returns gets so much hatred that it doesn't deserve. And the same goes for Dean Cain. That show was quite popular in its time. It was very much a 90s show, but it did turn a lot of people, housewives, certain people who wouldn't necessarily be turned on to Superman. It turned them on to Superman in a different way, and that the show ran for a good few seasons. So again, I think it's just a little bit of a snub, and I would have, even if they were just standing in the background, I think it's kind of unfair that they didn't even get a little look in, especially in a video that's supposed to be a celebration, and they choose to omit these important parts of the history. I think it's just a little bit of a shame, really. So David Tennant is apparently doing quite well in Richard II right now, with it kind of just opened this week. And there was also news that he would be in the Broadchurch remake in the US. Now this is strange because he is the lead in the UK version of Broadchurch, which I think is one of the best things to be on TV in either the US or the UK in many, many years. The show was kind of intriguing, it was dark, it was very well performed, not just by David Tennant but by everybody who was in the show. And the news of the US remake kind of came as a bit of a surprise. Why they felt the need to do that, considering, you know, it's either aired or is going to air in the US. I don't understand this need to constantly remake shows that come out of the UK. Most of them end up not being very good. You know, The Inbetweeners was awful. I think the only one that really did well was The Office. But this is going to be very interesting, the fact that David Tennant is going to be playing an American version of the character that he's already played, and suspectfully will play in season 2 of Broadchurch here in the UK. I just find that really, really strange. So Tom Hanks's Captain Phillips has been released, and the crew, the real crew of Captain Phillips' boat that the film's based on, have kind of shown their disdain for the film and the portrayal that Tom Hanks has given of Captain Phillips. They have suggested that Captain Phillips wasn't this noble sort of gentleman, and in fact he was a bit of an arrogant guy that no one wanted to work with. They also went into the specifics of the sort of adventure that they go on. Not so much an adventure, you know, they were put in under turmoil of pirates, but apparently he was warned not to go down that route via emails, about 7 of them, and he still chose to go that way because it was a cheaper route. And these guys are very, very unhappy that he's been depicted in this way by Tom Hanks. Now, you know, this doesn't really surprise me. You know, generally when they make these adaptations of true stories, they kind of make it a little bit more attractive, especially with the lead character. And you know, you look at the Steve Jobs film with Ashton Kutcher. You know, they made him very much a heroic character instead of the kind of villainous prick that he potentially was, and you know, all the other characters kind of just became secondary to this Jesus-like figure. And you know, again, it's not something that's very much a surprise, and it's strange that they would come out and say this now. So last week we talked about Star Wars Rebels, the trailer that had came out for that, and this week has seen the news that there will be potentially some Darth Vader TV series episodes. And well, it's unclear if this is to do with Rebels or it's going to be something else that's animated or live action. You know, it seems to be there's a steady flow of new content coming for Star Wars. You know, they're running the risk of oversaturating that market already, I think. But a Darth Vader kind of, you know, anything exploring Darth Vader could potentially be quite interesting, especially those moments, you know, where you see his inner turmoil during, you know, Empire Strikes Back, or, you know, when he has the mask off, and, you know, those little hints of the humanity he has left in them. You know, we've seen a lot of the humanity he had beforehand. Most of the time we perhaps didn't see it very well, but we did see a lot of that humanity he had before. It would be really interesting to see some of the humanity he has during the time as Darth Vader. You know, when he perhaps questions what he's doing and he's contemplating how he got to where he is. And it could potentially be quite interesting. Alright guys, if you've got anything to say about all these news stories, do comment below. Do head over to Oneofus.net. We've got some great stuff coming, especially a brand new feature called Write a Movie With Us. Now this Halloween we will be beginning this project, and over 7 weeks we will be collaborating with you guys to write a horror film. Now you guys will drive this project, and if you want more information, there is a video over on One of Us, so go and check that out. Follow us on Twitter at Oneofus.net. You can head over to the Facebook, like us, and do stick around because there's loads and loads of great content coming. And you know, and each week we're going to make this show better and better. We're going to have more features, we're going to get more interaction, and the fact that we're making it shorter, more digestible, that means that, you know, we can potentially look at doing some more series. Unless, again, as I say, Miley Cyrus does come in the door and start twerking, then all bets are off. But until next week, guys, go away.